Today, I'm going to make some tri-tip. Yeah. First, you've got to make the rub, and the rub has 5 ingredients. That's it. Tablespoon of pepper, teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of granulated garlic, tablespoon of paprika, and about a half teaspoon of chipotle powder. You can use any sort of chili powder you want, but I like chipotle. All I do to mix the rub is dump it all in a little Rubbermaid tub, shake it, and that's it. And that's our rub. This is the tri-tip I'm using. Store-bought, about 2.5, 3 pounds, trimmed it up a little extra, and all I'm going to do now is put the rub on. Alright, time to rub this up. It's going to shake a little bit on one side. I like to put it on a little bit heavy. I'm going to rub that all in. I love using these. These are nitrile gloves. They are great. Keeping your hands a little bit clean when you're rubbing. I also like doing it in a pan so it doesn't get to be too much of a mess. Try and get the sides too. And want to make sure we get everywhere in there. Even in all the little crevices. Rub it around. I don't worry if a bunch falls off. If you have extra, a little bit, last little bit right there. Some more in this area. Just try and get everything evenly coated. It's not rocket science. It's smoking. And this is what we're looking for at the end. Just like this. Now what I'm going to do, this has got to rest. So I'm going to cover it with foil in this pan. Let it set, let it come up to room temp, probably about 45 minutes while the smoker gets hot. And set it aside. This is what I'm going to be smoking the tri-tip on today. This is my favorite smoker to use. I've actually had 2 like this. Both were gifts. One's a master built, which used for about 8 years, starts losing temp a little bit now. Hard to hold. This charbroil was a gift also. The only smoker I've ever bought is my offset smoker in back, which I got just recently. But this is great. It's like an outdoor oven. It's great to use during the summer. You don't have to heat up the house. Today, I usually use like pecan when I'm doing tri-tip. I'm actually going to be using a little mesquite because I'm out of pecan. So I'm going to use a lot less wood chips because mesquite can be pretty strong. So let me show you the wood we're going to be using. Alright, so right here, in the smoker box, just about maybe 1/3 of the way full with mesquite. Might be a little hard to see there in this light. Usually I'd have it up a lot higher than that with pecan to keep the smoke rolling a longer time, but this is enough for what we've got. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set this to 225, which is actually the favorite temperature to cook at for me. Sometimes it's hard to maintain, but we're going to go ahead and set that to 225 temp. We're going to set our time. I always set the time longer than it's going to take. That way this doesn't shut off and go to warm. So I'm going to set the time to 6 hours. It's probably only going to take 2 to 3 hours on this tri-tip. They can take anywhere from 1.5 hours to 5 hours, depending on the size and the meat. And we're going. We should be making smoke pretty soon. One of the other things I like about this charbroil, and they're in a lot of different smokers, so it's not just this model, is a nice little remote. Lets you keep track of things. Turn it on, it'll show you what your temperature's set at, what your temperature's reading. It has a probe inside. You can keep track of your time. I love this. Just sitting inside, I can see what's going on out here and keep track of it. Another thing that makes things a little easier, and if you see, it says this table. It adjusts up and down, but I like getting this off the ground. It's a lot easier to work with, to open and get things in and out than when you're having to stoop down. It's all the way on the ground. So I invested in this and just a little aluminum tray to hold that, so there's no contact between this and the plastic. It doesn't get very hot on the bottom, so that's usually not an issue, but I like using this. Smoker's almost at temp. Want to get to 225. By the time we get the tri-tip ready and out there, should be good to go. Okay, before we get the tri-tip out there, we got to get the temperature probe in it, because this is all about temperature, not time. I always shoot for about 138, 140 degrees. Some people go lower to, 125. I like it right, medium rare, and it seems to get there right then. So we got to get this in. Okay, so what we're shooting for here is we want to get this into about the thickest part of the meat. And I know it doesn't look that thick from this side, but I want to get it right down there. Right down there in that meaty part. And that should be good. That should give us a good temp reading. We're hitting right about here. Dead center in the meat. That probe will plug into this, which is a transmitter, which also has a receiver. So you can get the temperature off this for the meat. I've got the temperature off the other remote for the smoker. This one also has a smoker probe, but I don't have it in there right now. That way, you can sit back and relax while the meat cooks out there. Let's get this out to the smoker. We're going to get our tri-tip in the smoker now. Get our probe wire out here. Let's close this up. Just got to sync our two pieces here. There we go. Let's see. Brought it up to close to room temperature, so we don't have as far to go now. We're shooting for 138, 140. Everything's continuing nicely. Let's take a quick look inside. Well, we got about less than 20 degrees to go here. Remember, it's all about temperature. The light here is horrible, but let's see, she's looking good. It's a very, it's a pretty thin tri-tip, so this one's going to cook fairly quickly. And thought I'd give you a quick look. Got some visitors out by the smoker. Anderson, you interested in what's in there? You want some tri-tip? You interested in some tri-tip? Smell good? Our tri-tip is at 138, which is right where I want it. So, let's open this up, take a look, and get it out of there. I'm going to do a quick check with the instant thermometer. That's perfect. That is looking really good. Let's get that inside. If you want to start smoking, tri-tip's a great piece of meat to do it. It's easy, it's quick. When you shoot for a temperature, you don't have to worry about time. Just give yourself a window. But right now with this, we got to get it wrapped in foil. Because I like to do that at least a half an hour, better an hour. Let it reabsorb juices. Just kind of finish cooking. So let's do that. Now we're just going to let this rest. In about an hour, we're going to come back. We're going to cut that, see how it came out. Time to cut the tri-tip. Alright, let's cut at the end here first. Looking good right there. Let's get a little middle here and see what's going on. That is perfect. Just beautiful. Let's get a slice of this right from the center. Just beautiful. Not really going for a smoke ring here. It's too short of a cook. Just got the nice seasoning on the outside. Kind of that perfect medium rare in the center here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Came out exactly as I wanted it. Look at that. Now, time to taste some of this. I'm going to taste some of this now. Let's get a nice piece here. I wish you could see this better. That good. That came out good. Just right. Just right. But to be sure, I gotta have another bite or two. You can't take chances. Just good meat. Well cooked, easily cooked, with just a minimum amount of seasoning. Very good. Oh, I wish you could smell this. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more like it as I put them out, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And please go ahead and like, share, and comment on this video if you want. I'll put more information in the description box below, including the recipe for the rub I used, and where you can find some of the items like the smoker that I used. Thanks again. Have a great day.